this chart is on the verge of replicating exactly down to the last tiny morsel the exact rebound pumpathon relief explosion that occurred at the depths of the last dumpisode. And what if I told you that the biggest, most earth-shattering, belly-rumbling, panic-inducing move is still yet to come? After the least volatile October in the history of Bitcoin, is the juice about to be completely let loose? And why is this crypto right here gaining so much traction amidst the bear market? You will not be the same pronoun after you watch this video. I'm Spitzmagoo, and right now Bitcoin, the crypto market, and the stock market in general are showing us something insanely big that we've been waiting for, and the tiniest inklings of and glimmers of hope are actually happening right now. But there are three specific things that absolutely require and demand your attention, and we're going to jump into that right now. So you guys, channel, big like, turn those ghost notifications, never miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts, and we can just jump and dump straight into this data here. So what I want to start off first with is Bitcoin here, as right now, sitting firmly still above 19,000 for the past, really guys, it's been since summer of 2022. It's been since June of 2022. We're going on 4.5 months of trading in this range here. Before we continue with that, because there is something happening on Bitcoin's chart, what we see right now is potentially the most promising thing that could be happening to the crypto market, and it's the stock market. So the last time we saw this drop down to the 200-week moving average, obviously, was the crash back in March of 2020. The beginning, pretty much, of this bull market. If you would have bought in March 2020 and held until the highs of the bull market for Bitcoin of around 69K, nice. And for altcoins, you know, dozens of percents and dozens of times higher in terms of gainage, you would have done really well. So right now, we're at that exact same spot. We've bounced on the 200-week moving average, and over the past 2 weeks, we have come up and done something that is quite remarkable. It's the very first time that we've bounced off the 200-week after getting that low, unfortunately. You know, that had to happen, I guess. And now we're actually on the verge of breaking back above the 10-week moving average, which the last time that happened, guys, was pretty ginormous for the market. Now, I am absolutely not saying that that's what... I'm not saying we're about to enter a new bull market. Absolutely, that's absolutely not what I think is the case. However, this to me looks like a very strong, again, relief rally, which, as we all know, October, November, and December are typically some of the most bullish times of the year for crypto, but also for the stock market. Okay, October, November, and December are historically very good for the stock market. Let's actually take a look at what happened last year during October, November, and December. So this is where October began right here, and this is December. And then as soon as December ended, and I remember this, I'm sure many of you remember this as well, as soon as December ended and January 2022 started, straight dumpage. So this period right here were those 3 months. It was that's where we hit the all-time highs in the stock market and Bitcoin and everything like that. And right now, we're on the verge of getting a bounce. And this, breaking above the 10-week, would be a confirmation for this bounce. And again, it has not happened yet. However, this is a new week, and if there's going to be a good time to be watching, absolutely, it's right now. And obviously, if that does well, Bitcoin will go up. And as well, take advantage of over $16,000 in trading bonuses below. If you simply put in an email and create a password, which takes 30 seconds, you will receive 15 free USDT on top of all of that. And then the $16,000 in deposit bonuses as well on top of all of that. And 0 trading fees when you sign up with my BitGet link below for spot trading. One thing also before we continue with Bitcoin, the DXY has had a lot of struggling over the past few weeks, pretty much since the beginning of October. We had the high put in right at the very end of September, and we've, obviously had this bounce, but it has been trending more downwards. Ultimately, which could be essentially like many times we've seen this move, swinging ultimately us to the downside here, which roughly is about under 110 again, to around 108, 109 for the DXY, which ultimately is part of a bigger picture here. And what do I mean by that? Well, if we do see the DXY start to lose momentum, okay, if it does start to lose momentum, ultimately what we could see eventually is a breaking of this parabolic structure that we have been in for the past 8 months. Beginning in February, late February of 2022, the DXY has gone into a massive ascending, broadening wedgie pattern here. And it is, what do I mean by that? It's been a parabola. It's been going straight up. It's been going straight up. There's like a month or two of pulling back, and then it bounces to set a new all-time high over and over and over again. You can see that marked here by all of these itsy bitsy red touches here. Now, is the next one going to be right here? Is that the next trajectory for this move? But ultimately, that's not the big deal. You know, if it comes down to that, so what? What, are we just going to get another bounce? The big point is there, if we do end up coming back down to this level right here, and if we break below this, that signals the end of this parabolic structure for the DXY. And one of the reasons, the biggest reason by far the DXY has gone parabolic is because quantitative tightening has begun. The rates have been going up, and that has been strengthening the dollar and killing risk on assets like the stock market, like Bitcoin and crypto. So really, that would mark the beginning of a major shift. And this is a type of shift that does not happen every week, doesn't happen every month. It takes, as you can see, it's been almost a straight year of just going straight up. But the DXY obviously was gaining ground even before that, starting all the way back in May of 2021. It really bottomed back in May of 2021. So this is actually a much longer process than just the last 8 months. It's been going on a lot longer than that. And additionally, I want to talk about this. So the average Bitcoin bear market lasts about 12 months. It's called the golden bull cycle ratio. And right now we're at month 11, and the Fed is considering to stop the hiking of interest rates. Obviously, I don't think it'll be this month. I don't think it'll be next month, but very, very soon. I'd say within the next 2 to 3 months max. And a lot of people are saying something similar here. Basically, 75 basis points is pretty much confirmed for November, but rate cuts to start in December 2023 and continue into 2024. CME's group's Fed Watch tool had a chance of a 75 basis point in November at 90%, so obviously that's very likely we're going to get that. However, afterwards, this is where things become interesting and potentially bullish, and the market could start pricing that in very early. And October 27th, only 3 days away, there is going to be a European Central Bank conference here with Christine Lagarde, the president, and that'll be interesting to see what they say. They're expected to deliver a 75 basis point hike as well. And again, this is just something worth watching. It's not in the US, but other countries exist as well that affect Bitcoin. But also here, so with the Bollinger Bands, a big expansive move is due, but it still could be a few weeks out. And this perfectly times with potentially the curbing of inflation, potentially with the rate hike slowing down. Each of these examples on this chart right here, Bitcoin spent 6 to 8 weeks tightening further from the width level that we're at right now before a massive move. So I'm afraid there's a good chance this thing could wind up for another 6 to 8 weeks, he's saying. So again, that perfectly times up with a rally. And again, this rally, in my opinion, could easily start even within the next week. Start. So obviously, if you look at this chart, it looks as though the DXY really started exploding right about here. But remember, it started kind of inching its way up much before that. Often with these big moves, you'll see them start to go parabolic. And if you look at the history of it, you see it was starting to creep up many times weeks and weeks before the biggest moves there. So that's something worth noting as well. And obviously, I want to talk about Polygon here. Just again, one of my biggest positions, I've talked about this a million times, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon are like 3 of my biggest positions by far. Not even, those 3 account for like 90% of my portfolio. And here we have another article. Warren Buffett backed neobanks picks Polygon for Web3 token. They're talking about a price rally. Who knows what percent it could go. However, it is one of the strongest coins, and it's been. A couple of months ago, ADA, XRP, and Polygon were all around like 30, 40, 50 cents-ish. Matic is now clearly, it's been bouncing. You can see the recovery from its lows back in June, right? Where Bitcoin is basically right exactly still at the lows of June. Matic is up 200% since then. Okay. And I see no signs of that stopping. That's one of the reasons that I have so much of my portfolio allocated to Matic here. This tightening has gone on so long here. Ethereum as well, just holding right at this exact same level that we've been in for months here after flipping 1200 again as support. And we've been holding there since, well over a month, weeks and weeks at that exact same spot. And Bitcoin specifically, again, we need to watch the S&P because Bitcoin will move if the S&P really starts to gain momentum here, at which point it right now is above the 21-day moving average. And when we look on the longer term charts, like this weekly chart, I think it's very likely, we break this, there's a decent amount we could get a very nice relief here, okay? And nice money to be made with that relief. To get to the channel, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications to never miss these absolute time-sensitive alerts. Take advantage of over $16,000 in trading bonuses below. Specifically with BitGet, you put in an email, create a password, get 15 free USDT without doing anything, and additionally over $8,000 in bonuses with BitGet below, 16,000 in total with Bybit, Femix, and BitGet as well. Without any further ado, that's it for me.